friends, families, supporters of Berita Harian. A very good evening to all of you. I should say, first of all, I should say terima kasih atas makan malam percuma ini. Thank you for the free dinner. Tapi saya tahu mesti kerja dulu. It's my pleasure to join you this evening for the 27th edition of the Anugerah Jauhari Awards. And tonight, we are here to congratulate and celebrate our two outstanding recipients, Aisha and Farouz. I must say, by Aisha first, I've read your background, and I must say that it has been very inspirational. Even for myself personally, to see you grow from strength to strength, to overcome all the adversities that you have undergone, and yet be able to continue to always remember the community and to contribute back to the community. You are certainly deserving of the award, and we look forward to your contributions to our community, Aisha. Thank you very much for inspiring us. For Farouz, I must make a personal declaration. He got the award this evening, not because I'm his minister and getting a lot of
Hello.
I have known Farouz since he was young. Indeed, we were officers serving together. I must tell you a nice little story about Farouz and my relationship with my fellow officers, including him. When I was young, there was one officer that inspired me a lot, and he took care of me, and at one point in time he was in the same unit as me as my officer commanding. If you all still remember him, he's Brigadier General Ishak. In my first unit, he was OC Bravo, and I learned a lot from him. He has, in the history of the SAF, been one of the few people who taught both the company tactics course and the battalion tactics course. And he has taught me many things. One of the things that he has taught me, which we hope to pass on, is that to always take care of the future generation. And I have the privilege to work with many good officers like Farouz and others in the SAF. And today, Farouz, no pressure. Today he's a Commander 9 Division, who used to be my division. He's a Chief Infantry Officer, no pressure. But I'm sure he will lead the infantry to greater heights. But most importantly, I'm sure he will take care of the men and women under his charge. Yes. And to me, that is most important, because in the Singapore Armed Forces, we believe that if you take care of the men and women under your charge, the men and women will take care of the nation. So thank you very much, Farouz, for inspiring us and for taking care of our men and women in service. Thank you. I also want to thank the Berita Harian team tonight for working very hard behind the scenes, not just for this award. I visit the Berita Harian team regularly, and I just visited them recently. Every time I visit Berita Harian, I can feel the family spirit to want to excel, to do well. And today, we have heard from Nasri some of the plans that they have going forward. And I must congratulate them for their boldness in envisioning a future for Berita Harian and also for the Malay Muslim community in Singapore. It is not easy in today's internet world to run a newspaper. You have to do the traditional newspaper. You have also to transit to many of these new media, including video, podcasts, and many other things. But I'm quietly confident with this team. I have seen them grow, and I have seen them constantly seeking new ideas to innovate, to produce better products, not just for the business sense, but more importantly, to bind the community together. And I hope that we will all join hands to support this team in Berita Harian as we have supported the previous teams led by the previous generations of leaders to take Berita Harian to the next higher plane and also to be a shining beacon for the Malay Muslim community in Singapore. So thank you, Nasri, for your leadership, and thank you to the BH team for organizing this and inspiring the Malay Muslim community. Thank you very much. I was told that tonight the BH team had a problem. They had a problem because with each passing year, it has become harder and harder for them to decide who should be the deserving winner for the award. And I think it's a happy problem. It's a happy problem because it is a good sign to see the community getting stronger, more confident, and more successful with every generation. And by any measure tonight, our Malay Muslim community in Singapore can be very proud of its progress over the years. Whether we look at education, jobs, housing, the trajectory has always been upwards in the last 60 years of our independence. There is much to celebrate, there is much to be proud of. But just like every Singaporean, we also know that as with any community, there will always be areas where we can do better, where we want to do better, and where there are individuals who need more help. And we want to do better, not just for ourselves, but for the whole community. And I think the Singapore Malay Muslim community, just like any other communities in Singapore, share the same ethos and philosophies. Our government remains fully committed to helping all Singaporeans progress regardless of race, language, religion, or starting point in life. We will always do more for those with less so that we can move forward together as a society. Now, having said that, we all know that as fellow Singaporeans, we are never complacent and we are never easily satisfied with the status quo. We are constantly aspiring to do better for ourselves, for our community, and for our country. And likewise, I think it's the same for our Malay Muslim community. So in preparing this speech, I've asked myself, how would we define success for ourselves as a Malay Muslim community in say 10 or 20 years' time? What would a successful Malay Muslim community be? I thought hard about it and I thought I'll share with you some of my thoughts. There were three things that stood up for me when I think about our Malay Muslim community going forward. First, I think we would have succeeded by our own standards if we have a community that is proud of our own progress, self-assured in our diverse accomplishments, and confident of our unique Singapore Malay Muslim identity. I think we would have, the second thing is that I think we would have succeeded if we have a community that blends the best of our Singapore values such as meritocracy, fairness, openness with our own diverse, rich heritage in the Malay Muslim community. And third, I think we will have succeeded if we have a community that's strong in our bonds, firmly rooted, yet comfortable in our diversity, grounded in our beliefs, and yet open to it. So these are my three simple wishes for our community, where we are proud of our own progress and self-confident of the diversity of our accomplishment, where we are able to blend the best of our Singapore ethos with the rich heritage that we have, and community strong in our roots, yet comfortable with our diversity and open to the world. Now this brings me to something more fundamental about how we think about our identity as fellow Singaporeans. And perhaps this is the Singapore story. Our Singapore identity has never been monolithic or homogeneous, and I don't think it will be. As a recent study by the Institute of Policy Studies, or IPS, reminds us that every Singaporean carries multiple layers of identity. There is a national identity that unites us as fellow Singaporeans. There are also racial and religious identities that gives us our roots and meaning. There are then also our professional identities, personal interests, and even the communities that we belong to that shape our identity. So our identity is a multi-layered, multifaceted identity. And these layers, these facets are not mutually exclusive, and they need not be. The Singaporean identity is not about homogenizing everyone or ignoring our differences. It is about building a shared identity upon our diverse heritage, one that recognizes yet embraces our differences. This is what gives our society resilience and balance, especially in a fragmenting world. We might think that this is quite natural in Singapore, but actually, if we reflect on this with comparisons around the world, it is not so simple, nor yet not so natural. Some countries have chosen seemingly simpler paths to face with people from diverse backgrounds. Some try to homogenize everyone with the same identity, or some others try to keep the different groups apart and separate. We have chosen perhaps the harder, but in my view, a more rewarding way to celebrate our diversity and build our unity upon it. Now, this is not always easy. As an open society, there will always be external forces trying to influence us or pull us in different directions. And we know that in Singapore, we cannot close ourselves off from the rest of the world, nor should we ever think of doing so. Yet at the same time, we must always remember to put our national interests first, that Singapore must not be a proxy for others to be used for their purposes. We must stay anchored, clear about who we are, what we stand for, and what kind of future we want to build together. Building this shared identity will take time, but we are making steady progress. With every shared experience, from our schools to national service, from housing to work, we build trust and understanding. Every challenge over the past 60 years that we have been able to overcome together makes us stronger and more united. Every success that we celebrate together strengthens our shared purpose. Just as tonight, the success of Aisha and Farouz doesn't just reflect on the Malay Muslim community. It is our shared success, because we all know that whenever we receive an award, whether it's tonight or anywhere else or anytime, it is not just because of our hard work or intelligence. It is because in Singapore, we have the shared ethos to want to give our best to those fellow Singaporeans around us. That we define our success not just by how well we do for ourselves, and certainly not just in this generation alone, but how well we enable the rest to do even better than us. That is the unique thing about the Singaporean identity, and I think that is also part of the heritage that we have from the Malay Muslim community, where we want to give our best to the next generation and not just for ourselves. At the same time, we must also recognize that there will be differences now and then. We must seek to deeply understand the forces operating in each of us, the strengths of the different individuals, so that we can put each person in the best position to contribute to our society. We should not chase optical equality or tokenism if that means violating the shared principle of merit. And this is how we have tried to blend the best of both worlds, having a shared set of values that we all as fellow Singaporeans share, but yet at the same time, never forgetting our rich heritage from the diverse communities. Upon our diversity, we build our unity. And I have seen the progress of how we have become stronger and closer as a nation despite our different starting points. Every generation has done its part to lift the next, and every challenge we have faced has brought us closer together as one people. Whether it's in the early years where the British withdrew east of the Suez, the 1970 oil crisis, the 1980 economic crisis, the 1990s Asian financial crisis, SARS, global financial crisis, and most recently, COVID-19. Through all these challenges, we have come closer together than ever before, drawing upon the strengths of our diverse heritage, but always remembering that we will give our best to the next generation. And therefore, I am confident that we will become even stronger and more united in time to come. We can only do this by appreciating the diversity of strengths amongst us, which is also becoming increasingly important for our collective resilience in an uncertain world. In an uncertain and volatile world, we never know what will be the strengths that are required for us to overcome the next challenge. But we do believe that we need the diversity of skills and strengths for us to put ourselves in the best position to overcome these challenges. That's why in Singapore, we never believe in trying to homogenize everyone or have everyone chasing the same narrow yardstick. Because if we all chase the same narrow yardstick, we will be strong but brittle. And this is why we must always remember our diversity, appreciate our diversity, build upon it something that can unite us going forward. I've always said that we may never be united by a common past, but we can definitely be united by a shared future with a shared sense of ethos. And we will falter if we deny our differences or try to make everyone the same. But we will thrive if we respect those differences and draw upon them to complement one another. So let us continue to celebrate our diversity and build a shared future on a set of shared ethos of trust, fairness, and opportunity for all. An ethos that brings out the best in each of us to be the best versions of ourselves together. The best of Singapore, the best for Singapore. This is the ethos that has guided us since independence, and it must continue to guide us in this onward journey towards SG 100. And finally, on a lighter note, I always like to share this. When I was young, someone told me that, Sing, don't worry, you are never completely useless. Minimally, you can be a negative example. I thought about it. Maybe he was trying to make fun of me, but I learned one thing, which is that each of us, regardless of our station in life, we all can make a contribution. We all can do something for the society that's bigger than ours. That's why the most inspirational stories in my constituencies may not come from the rich or the powerful, but it may come from even the one with the least staying in the one-room flat who's prepared to take that step to help and serve the community. That is the power of our Singaporean identity, that regardless of where we are, we can always inspire and be an inspiration to others by making our own contribution. And on that note, I will help Wing Kong and Nasri to reconcile. You might support Liverpool, you might support Man U, but Farouz and I support Everton. And if it helps you to make you all feel better, you see, we can be an inspiration to the rest of you. So on that note, you enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Minister. May I invite you back to your seat, please?